So you guys are working together. Ronit, let's start with you. You worked with Michelle Phan. You're sort of OG. You were at Full Screen Running Creators. I looked inside. We've got notes from a conversation from 2015. Now you're on your own. You worked with a lot of creators. How has the manager dynamic with creators changed over the last few years?
So I would say, a lot has changed in the creator landscape. However, there hasn't been any maturation when it comes to the creator manager dynamic, unfortunately. And I'd say a lack of education is the culprit for that. There are more people now, more than ever, who are trying to become creators and managers. But what I see that's missing from developing the industry's next group of leaders is really training, mentorship, and guidance. A lot of the newer managers that I meet today, they tell me that they don't receive any formal training from their employers. And, they're only learning through experience, which means mistakes will be made. And sadly, that comes at the cost of the creator. On the flip side, a lot of creators don't really understand what talent representation entails, and they don't really know what to expect, like what kind of services to get from their manager. And so I think there needs to be a lot more education on both sides so that we can really kind of mature and evolve and grow that relationship.
Who should do that education? How should we get that done? I mean, it seems like a really good idea, but there's no university of managers.
I mean, that's a great idea, which is why I might be working on a book.
All right. You heard it here first. Cool. I think it's well deserved. Sean, you started posting at the age of 10, I think?
9.
9. Okay. The age of 9. OG. Vine, TikTok, YouTube. Tell me about that journey.
Yeah, man. I started posting when I was 9 years old. I started doing magic tricks because all of my content is focused around magic when I was 6. And so, when I grew up and I was watching a lot of YouTubers, it was kind of weird actually being a kid and wanting to be a YouTuber. I grew up wanting to be a YouTuber. I think now it's probably 70% of kids want to become a creator, which is insane. But when I was a kid, it was kind of weird. And so when I saw that there was a lot of people making money doing videos and it could actually become a career and it was slowly, becoming more accepted, I decided to take social media seriously. The first 4 years, when I was 9 until I was about 13, I grew my channel to an outstanding 900 subscribers. I know.
Well done.
No, I told my mom to quit her job the moment I hit 900. I was like, that's it. That's all we need.
You got a Google Play button for that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was a black one, right?
Yes, it was.
Instead of dirt.
Cardboard. Yeah. From there, I started to do other things in the world of entertainment. I auditioned for shows such as America's Got Talent. And for those shows, you have to go in front of the producers. And this is where I ran into kind of my first hurdle, that these producers year after year kept saying no. And there was kind of these gatekeepers of who makes it in the world of entertainment. Where there's not a gatekeeper? YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, all of these other amazing platforms. And so, freshman year of high school, I decided to take it seriously. This is going to become my career path. I'm going to dedicate as much time into it as possible. I took those 900 subscribers and 800 followers on Instagram. And, I said by the time that I graduate, I want to move to Los Angeles. And, we graduated with 12 million on TikTok.
All right. Well, I will tell you because I looked this up, on July 15th, 2012, you posted your first video on YouTube. You can look at it.
Yeah.
You were so serious. But I will say, you know what I thought was great? Your headline was amazing. 5 tricks in 30 seconds. I mean, that's a great first headline. So tell me about that process. And I love that you leave it up there and it's easy for people to see.
Yeah. That's actually, there's videos that I've taken off earlier, but I've kept that one up because that really shows my beginning. It was literally me with a camcorder, my dad's old camcorder, 360p, very low quality. And, I think I remember using auto stabilization for the first time. And the video is like swaying back and forth like you're on a boat. And it's me doing 5 tricks in 30 seconds. And, it was kind of like the first thing I wanted to put up to show, hey, this is me as a creator. I can do magic and we can do a bunch of them. And that's what the channel is going to be about.
I just think it's so inspiring you left it up so other people can be like, oh yeah, that's how he got started too. That's cool. I could do a video like that. But now when we met a couple years ago, you had 20 million across all your channels. Now you're over 30 million. You doubled your YouTube, your TikTok's amazing, 22 million, Instagram. Talk about that growth and how, it's pretty, you said it was pretty big when you got out of college, or got out of high school, but it's huge now, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been my passion, since I was a kid, and we still go till this day. It's my dream to eventually just not only just do, social media, but also just become an overall entertainer. And we're slowly moving into the world of, hosting and doing stuff with broadcast television and all these amazing networks. We worked with the Kids Choice Awards last year. We did like, little cameo segment for them. And hopefully this year we'll be doing some more hosting with them as well. But, yeah, it's been my one passion is just to be an entertainer. And, that kind of career path, it's a lot of work, and the workflow is only adding more and more. And that's where we have an amazing manager such as Ronit, who helps me with that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that relationship. How long have you guys been working together?
A little over a year.
Yeah.
Cool. How did you guys get connected?
Through another
Mutuals.
Yeah.
Another client? Yeah. What is it for you when you started talking to Ronit? What was it like? Yeah, I want to work with you.
Yeah. I mean, I personally have gone through a few manager changes, and I've also known a lot of people who've been through manager changes as well, and like had really bad experiences with managers. And I think there's a lot of creators, we talked about it. There's not really like a forefront or a blueprint of what it's supposed to look like to have a good manager and a good creator work together. And when you're a new creator and you're starting to build that leverage, you hit the 100,000 followers, 1 million followers, whatever, and you start to get to the point where you need help, you don't know exactly what that looks like. I definitely didn't know what that was going to look like. And so I thought, a manager's just supposed to answer emails for me, I guess. Maybe help me with calls. And, as I continue to grow, I realized that, these are things that creators can do themselves. And a manager who's, going to be helping you with, a manager who's going to be taking over, part of your business should be helping you with more than just responding to emails and going on a couple calls. And
yeah, when you guys first started working together, did you sit down and sort of work on initial goals and where you wanted to go? Like, how does that initial thing work with you guys?
Yeah, I would say it's a work in progress. So oftentimes I will, we do some deep dive strategy work, and then I'll put together some ideas. But truthfully, I really don't know what the creator is either capable of or truly interested in until we start working together and I see like how we're reacting to things. And so we've been working together for a year, but we've just now really crystallized what the D2C business opportunity is. And it's not that we haven't been focused on it, but we've been kind of workshopping it. And also because Sean is so highly in demand, he's been presented with so many opportunities that he can't say no to.
Right.
And they have taken priority. So it's really about us now dedicating the time. Like, okay, last year was about rebuilding, growing YouTube and, growing the engagement and getting consistent with videos and whatnot. And now this year, the focus is really about, okay, let's focus in on the D2C business and that new business that we're going to launch.
Yeah, it's great that you said D2C, because D2C traditionally direct to consumer, but I like to think of it as direct to community, or take it even a step further, direct to cult. But basically that's what you have. You have fans and you are the CEO of a DTC business, right?
Right.
When did you realize that you were that?
Man, I don't know if I realize it yet. Like, this is why I have so many amazing people by my side that are helping me, because, at the end of the day, and this is kind of like the overall topic, is like, it's really important to have a great manager like Ronit helping you with these things, because at the end of the day, I just feel like the creative. I just want to be able to create content, make videos that people are going to love, and figure out strategies to get as many people to see it. But, in overall aspect of like business, that's why I have someone like Ronit by my side.
Yeah. So it sounds like last year build the foundation, rebuild that. Now it's sort of moving into the DTC business. What are the areas that you see your business growing into? Like, how does that, you don't have to reveal anything that you haven't talked about, but how do you see that DTC thing building over the course of the year? Go ahead, Ronit.
Yeah, well, so there's 3 key components to Sean's business and brand. One is creator, one is performer, and that's him doing more of the traditional entertainment type of roles so that he can do acting and hosting in traditional media. And then the third is really about him as an expert and educator. And that's in the world of magic. And that's where we see the real business opportunity. And so we can't just focus on that one thing because we have to make sure all wheels are spinning. And so it's really about just making the creator side of the business run as efficiently as possible so that frees up Sean's mental bandwidth and physical time to be able to focus on number 2 and number 3. But it's going to be a slow build for number 3. And it's really about us now doing the research, meeting with potential partners and figuring out, are we building this from within? Are we partnering up with another company? Are we taking on investment capital? And so that's, for me, I think an exciting part of the journey. It's like now that we know this is the direction, we're committed to it. So we're going to dive into it, not fast, but methodically and carefully.
You know, listening to you, it sounds a lot like you're the COO, not the manager.
I mean, I've been called that before. I am many roles. I'm, sometimes I'm a career coach. Sometimes I'm a life coach. But it's really about stepping into that role or leaning into that role at the right time. So last year wasn't the right time because it was really about getting to know each other and really prioritizing the existing partnerships and really starting out. But now that I know, like, we're ready for this next phase, so then, yeah, sure, that's when I wear my COO cap.
So what does the team look like? Have you hired people? Is it still just you guys? Are there plans to hire people to, sort of take some of that other stuff off of your plate and lean into those other 3 things?
Yeah, I mean,
those 3 things. It's
funny because as a creator, there's a level of narcissism because you expect to put something out and expect people to watch. And, part of that is like, we do so much as creators, like, we're the writer, we're the editor, we film, we color grade, we do thumbnails. And, letting go of all of those other parts is like kind of like a big step as a creator. And I think up until about when I hit like 15 mil, maybe 16 mil, I didn't really have any help. It was just me. And then I would occasionally have a friend edit a couple videos, but that ego is like, oh, I can do it, all of it. But, we've slowly built the team out a little bit more. I have a sister who's been assisting with me. She's my right-hand man, basically, just like helping me with everything that I got going on. And then, of course, an amazing manager who does more than most managers. I want to give her all the flowers. She's the greatest manager that I could ever ask for. Like, I couldn't ask for a better manager. Does above and beyond, helping me with my branding, helping me with, my business and what the longevity play is. Because, at the end of the day, brand deals can only take you so far. What are you building outside of just the brand deals and stuff and the brand partnerships that you're doing?
Yeah, and what's your life cycle look like, right? Where that goes too. Ronit, how do you get somebody like Sean to let go? Because creators, I agree, they're all micromanagers. They want to do everything because they grew up doing everything. And it's hard to figure out, like, what could I bring other people in and trust them? How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, ask me in 6 months.
Okay.
But no, it's
work in progress, I guess.
It's patience. And these are conversations that we've had over time. But the truth is I can't force someone to do something that they're not ready to do. And so really my best thing in dealing with that is really just to be patient. And for when Sean's ready, that's when we're going to make the move.
Yeah. And Sean, how about you? How do you feel about giving up things?
Yeah. I mean, I'm realizing that I can only do so much and we're only going to plateau. I mean, that's why we had a big rebuilding phase last year, because when I get exhausted or when I'm eventually, at max capacity of what I can do myself, you kind of just plateau. And it's like, at what point do you need to ask for help? And so, that's why we're starting to build out the team more this year. And we're really diving. I do a lot of short form content. So we're really diving into the long form content this year. And that's going to be a lot of new hires. And, yeah, I'm really excited for this journey.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, you're amazing, so it's really going to be fun to watch that development. But, think about you two as you work together and build this relationship. There's going to be conflicts. How do you deal with conflicts? Did you have to work on coming up with a conflict resolution mechanism, or was it just like, listen to me, I'm in charge? Not sure which one of you would have said that, but anyway, go ahead, Ronit.
No, I mean, it's funny because we've talked about this and we were like, have we had any conflict?
No, the only conflict is I respond in like 17 business days. But yeah, besides that.
Yeah, I think being transparent and being very communicative and honest, but being respectful in the way that we deal with each other has led to no conflicts. And we are very upfront and we are respectful of each other's opinions. And it's been a great working relationship so far.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, I love hearing that. I love hearing that you leaned in and sort of did a bunch of strategic stuff and set the vision out. Have you set up sort of the 3-year, 5-year, 10-year goals and vision? And what does that look like?
Well, one of the best things when I met with Sean the first time was he already told me what he wants to achieve, by the time he's 50.
Oh, wow.
I'll let him say it.
I love that. Okay. What's your 30-year goal?
Well, I just know that.
Actually, you know what we call it? The big, hairy, audacious goal. Right? What's your BHAG?
That's hilarious. I've never heard that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah. My end goal, and it's kind of a goal that I've had for like probably the last decade or so. I want to host Oscars. That's my end all be all goal. Like,
that is a big, hairy, audacious goal. I'm for it. Yes.
Awesome. Thanks,
Sean.
But yeah, that's my big goal. If I can get to that point, that means not only have I made it as a host, but I've also, the person who hosts Oscars is not just some host, it's the top of the entertainment world in general. And so that's going to be my end goal. And, we're just figuring out the steps backwards.
How do you work backwards from the Oscars,
exactly.
Right? Which is great, which is amazing. So what does it look like in 10 years? Are you, hosting the Kid Choice Awards? You could host that. That would be a good step on the way, right?
Yeah, 100%. So we're just slowly making those waves, and we're always keeping social media on there and obviously building out our, D2C business and things that will, kind of be the longevity plays where it's like things outside of just creating content. But, we're doing everything in, every different little industry.
Well, yeah, and you can't get it done all at once, which is really good advice too. You can't boil the ocean immediately. So you want to lean into sort of more traditional media as well, right?
Yes.
So Nickelodeon, you're doing some stuff with them. There's obviously potential there. I worked with the Net Group. But movies, you want to lean into movies too? How do you feel about that?
I mean, everything entertainment, right? I want to see what I'm able to do, what I can and can't do, because I can't do it all. But like, I want to try everything out, and whatever, sticks. But as long as we're working towards that end goal of eventually hosting the Oscars, that's what I'm trying to do.
Do you want to get into singing? You going to tour the rock and roll band, or?
I'm going to do everyone a favor and not sing.
You said everything. That was the thing that I didn't hear. So. Yeah, I was thinking all right. So, but host, actor, what about, events? Think about what are the areas that, like, for the next 3 years, where should we expect to see you at what stage of this journey? Like, what are the things that we're going to see? Like, oh yeah, that's new. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, for one of the big things that we talked about, especially when we first started our partnership, is also speaking. I just love talking, and I love helping other creators and people in this industry succeed in their own business. So like, whether it is me talking at more industry panels, or it's me, doing some sort of course where we talk about it and teach people how to create their own social media, or we're helping existing brands, whatever it might be, we'll definitely lean more into that. And then really building out that kind of D2C business where we're able to teach the next generation of magic. I grew up learning magic on YouTube. I didn't have no mentor. It was the cardtrickteacher.com, but had a bunch of different magic trick tutorials. And so I want to lead that next generation of magicians as well.
I know you also used to watch Scam School, which is on Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
My network, and Brian Brushcraft actually told him that you were a big fan when I saw him a year ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very cool. So I think that's great. There's a lot that you want to build. You might need some investment capital there. You might need some money coming to the house. How do you think about that?
That's a Ronit question.
All right, Ronit, how do you think about the lifeblood of capital to help grow? You may not need it, so that's fine.
Yeah. My POV is build it yourself, and then build it so well that you've got people, clamoring on the door that want to get in on your business.
Yeah. Do you see, do you see selling at any one point? It's like interesting what happened to Matt Pat sell out. I mean, it's a little early, I know, but like, is that an end goal? Build it and sell it? Like, they say like, if you're an entrepreneur building a business, your goal should be to build and sell and then go build the next thing. It's harder for a creator, but
I think it makes sense to sell something if it no longer serves its purpose. And with Sean being a human being and, him not being a static thing or a product, his wants and desires and needs are going to change. And so it's really about what makes sense for him. So if the business no longer serves him, then that is a good time to sell.
You have a great library of content. Is there stuff there you can mine and then take advantage of and put it out there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we are working on that as well.
Yeah, no, it just seems like a natural, although like all those, what was that platform early on where you just like match people up randomly and you would just like doing weird magic for them? Like,
Oh yeah, Omegle, yes.
Omegle, that's
R.I.P.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that there's a market for that, but there might be. What about fan communities? I mean, you talked about education, which I think makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure you're talking to all the big players, which 100%. What about building communities, whether they're paid or not paid?
Yeah, that's part of what we want to do in the magic space, because there's definitely white space. And, Sean told me early on that even in the world of products, magic products, there's been no innovation. And so it's such a stale kind of market, but yet the demand is still so high, and it's been like a continuous demand for generations. So the opportunity is ripe.
Yeah, you look at like what Mark Rober did with his box, right? Monthly box. You can have a monthly subscription box out there.
That's exactly what we're
Magic
thinking
trick in the mail every Monday. Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility that we're looking into. I think the big thing and the thing that we're building right now is like, yeah, I have my overall entertainer, Sean does magic, where we're doing like a bunch of YouTube videos that aren't necessarily magic, but, just entertaining people and doing like, the Mr. Beast, Ryan Tran type videos. But, we don't want to lose the core audience of teaching magic. Like I said, I grew up learning magic on YouTube, and I want to be able to help the next generation of magic. So we actually just earlier this month, April 3rd, we started a brand new channel. Sean Teaches Magic, and that's going to be where we start building that community. Actually, literally about an hour ago, I hit 100,000 subscribers on that platform. And
well done.
Thank you. And so, yeah, that's going to be kind of our next venture and how we're going to start working on that D2C business.
So when you think of yourself growing as an entertainer, and in these different areas, magic becomes a core, but maybe not 100% of it. Like, how do you think about magic being an element of Sean, but not the entire part? I'm actually interested in both of your points of view.
Yeah, it's always going to be a part of what I'm doing, and obviously that's what I am. Sean does magic. That's the one thing that I can do. But
it's kind of there, isn't it?
Yeah, but of course, at the end of the day, my end goal is to just be one of the biggest entertainers, host the Oscars. So, it's going to be a part of it. We're going to build a business, and that's going to be one of the big parts of my business is, teaching people, selling courses, selling kits, whatever it might be. But it's not going to be the overall end goal, which is to try to do hosting and entertainment.
Yep. Ronit, what do you think about that level?
Yeah, the goal is in 3 years that everyone knows his last name.
Yeah, I know, and can pronounce it. Sorry.
No, that was not a dig to you. That's just,
it's fine.
It's about dropping the does magic, and that Sean is just known for being who he is. And so magic is the gateway point where people are first.
Gateway drug to get people addicted. Got it. And there we go. One roadblock potentially, given your audience on TikTok, is TikTok. Any thoughts about TikTok and its problems?
Yeah, I mean, as a creator, you always run into things like that, right? You're kind of just withheld with, and this is why it's so important to build something outside of just what you're doing with your viewers and, your brand deals and whatnot. You got to be building something out bigger than YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, the videos that you're creating. But, specifically to TikTok, I mean, we were just at the White House like a month ago. We were talking to a lot of representatives. I don't feel any
part of that trip. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel any like way about, I feel fairly confident that TikTok is going to stick around. It doesn't bother me because we are so strong on multiple platforms. We've grown audiences everywhere. And, if TikTok goes away, that audience has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're going to find me on YouTube. And they're going to continue to support. I feel fairly confident.
Yeah, I noticed you posting more of your stuff on Instagram and on Shorts as well when you're on TikTok. It seems like some of it is different and some is the same, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. How do you think about putting it on those platforms? Like, should you be doing different stuff on each of them, or is it like, I don't have time, I'm just going to do that?
The lazy part of me says you could just post a video is meant to go viral on all platforms. But the truth is, when we were rebuilding YouTube last year and we were rebuilding our audience, it really came down to us learning what was doing well on each individual platform. And now I create content specific to each platform. Some videos can go everywhere, but not all videos. And so we mix and match, but I try specifically with my shorts, I try to create content just for shorts.
Cool. So last question, this is for Ronit. Ronit, we've heard a lot about your grand goals and where you want to go. And oh man, I hope you get there. But Ronit, what do you think? What are your goals for your business? I mean, how many creators are you working with? Do you want to work with? Where are you? I mean, what's your version of the Oscars?
Oh, that's such a good question, because honestly, I'm very guilty of just being so deep into my clients' businesses and worlds that takes priority way above my own needs. And actually, in December, I decided this is the year that I'm going to think about my business strategically, because I don't follow my own business advice. And so I've been reactive in my business because I've been lucky enough to where it's 100% referral. And when another client refers someone like Sean, it's really hard to say no. when another client refers, someone like Regina and Daniela, it's hard to say no. And so I haven't been strategic with how I want to grow my business, but this year I just hired my first employee.
Congratulations. That's a big step.
After 5 years of doing it on my own, which is ridiculous, but that is a step. So it's about small scalable growth so that I can better serve my clients.
Cool. Let's do this again in a year or two, and I want to ask you the exact same questions and see where we are. So Sean, Ronit, thank you very much. Big applause for them. Awesome. Thank you on the Creator Lab. And guess what? It's party time over there. Let's have some fun. Thanks, everyone.